Welcome to your community update. I'm Angela Stepp. Thanks so much for joining us. Well, if you've been watching us live on WSOT TV, we thank you for joining us, and we appreciate your support over the last 40 years as we have broadcast throughout North Central Indiana. And if you are finding us streaming on demand on YouTube, we say a great big welcome and thank you for finding us at our place online. Do please take a moment to like and subscribe this video. It doesn't cost you anything, but it really helps us out a lot as we seek to grow awareness of this outreach. Well, today on Community Update, I have some live in-studio guests, and we have a lot of exciting things to talk about. So we're going to jump right into it. First up is going to be Bob Jackson. He is the director for the Grant County EMA, and we are glad that you are here. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me.
You know, October, can you believe we are now in, fourth quarter of the year,
Yep.
Last few months of the year. Fall has officially arrived, and I understand the weather is finally going to be lovely for the next week or so.
Beautiful out there.
Beautiful. And that means the temperatures are starting to cool off, and people are starting to think about turning on heaters and staying warm for the cooler months. And so we have something very important that we need to remind people of.
Absolutely. So every year, second week in October is National Fire Prevention Week. So we want to spend a little time, talk about that, and some of the preparation stuff that we need to really take a few minutes, work through each year, and remind everybody of some of the basics. So yeah, but you're exactly right. It's the time of year. We're coming inside. We're spending more time inside. Those furnaces are coming on that have been idle for some time. So yeah, if you're ready, we can get started right into it.
We can. You know, this is a topic that's very near and dear to me. Because I have two family members over the course of the last 3 years that lost their homes in totality due to house fires. And both of them were away when it happened. And so it was one of those scenarios. It was in the fall both times. And, you know, it is something that people do need to be aware of.
Absolutely.
And so there's a lot of precautions that need to be taken, especially as we enter into the cooler months.
Absolutely.
And, you know, people are going to be out there, going to be burning their leaves and having the marshmallow roast, right? And all those fun things that's just too hot to do in the summer, they do in the fall. So let's jump into it, because I understand if you have a house fire, you have under 3 minutes to kind of get everybody out of the house safely.
Correct. So 3 minutes is about right. And there again, keep in mind, a house fire can double in size every 60 seconds. So it's important that we get out and we stay out. Working smoke detectors, and I emphasize working. Smoke detectors don't do any good unless they have good fresh batteries. They're worked, they're tested, those kind of things. So it is important. And there again, if you have questions about that, you can contact your local fire department. I can speak for all the chiefs in Grant County. They are more than happy to help you with that, and they will come out and check them for you. If you're having trouble installing those kind of things, they're happy to help there.
That is wonderful to know that resource is available.
Absolutely.
That brings me to two questions then. One, is there a recommendation, just on an overall recommendation in a residence, how many smoke detectors would be a good idea, and where would you place them?
Right. One for each level of your home, including the basement. There again, outside sleeping areas, in the kitchen areas. You can go on to FEMA.gov. There's a whole list of stuff there, but there again, I would recommend contact your local fire department if you have questions about that. They'd be happy to come out and help you make sure we're getting them in the right place. It is important. Outside sleeping area is very important, and one on each level of the home.
Yeah, and I personally, and again, I am of no expert advice here, but I made sure, like you said, around the sleeping areas and where the appliances are, major appliances are.
Absolutely.
Especially after I've shared numerous times when we had the washing machine fire, where the motor in the washing machine, one of those middle of the night scenarios happened. And thankfully, we took the advice that you provided, and we had fire extinguishers on hand and detectors on hand, and we were able to react quickly and, resolve the issue. But it is so important to be prepared and make sure you do have not only the smoke detectors, but again, now let's talk fire extinguishers. What do you recommend?
So there again, every home's a little different depending on what you have. One at least in the kitchen. Those are the areas where we have lots of fires begin in the cooking areas. Some pot gets left on the stove. We've had pets accidentally turn on burners. Those kind of things. So having the right extinguisher is important, particularly in that area. And then knowing how to use it. There again, your local fire department can provide a little training there. It's mysterious sometimes to some people. But it's important that they know how to use that and that it's there. And almost as important, and probably as important, is knowing when it's beyond your capability and just exit the home.
Yes.
And call the fire department, call 911, get out of the house. Which brings me to exit drills.
Yes.
Having an exit plan in your home. We use the acronym EDITH, which stands for Exit Drills in the Home. There again, have a plan. Make sure everybody in the home knows that plan and that you practice it. It's important, and it only takes a small amount of time. Even the youngest children, we've taught preschoolers fire prevention, and they get it. They really do get it. So it's important that everybody knows that what the plan is. Have a meeting place. Go there. Stay there. Do not re-enter the home. That's all important stuff.
So you mentioned having the exit plan and practice. And
absolutely.
If you are in a crisis situation, and fires never happen at a convenient time,
No.
right?
Absolutely.
And so there's that sense of panic that happens, and none of us know how we're going to react in panic until we experience it, right? And so the best protection that we can have is to have that plan and practice so that it's at a place of almost, for lack of better words, muscle memory.
Absolutely. Instinct.
Yep. Yeah. So you don't have to think, you just go do because you've already done. It's familiar. You don't have to figure it out.
Absolutely.
You already know what you're doing. And then you can adapt as needed.
Yeah.
So important. So we were just talking about family getting out of the house. Let's address an important issue. I have loved ones with limited mobility. Is there any extra precautions that folks who have limited mobility need to take in the event of a fire?
Absolutely. So, there again, a little extra planning if you have those, making sure that the pathways are wide enough for walkers, for wheelchairs, installing ramps, those kind of things. There again, there's help out there with that. Local fire department is a good place to start. And plan for that. And we recently had an incident where we had a couple individuals with mobility issues. When they call 911, they let that dispatcher know, hey, look, we're on walkers, we're going to have trouble getting out. That's good information for us to know ahead of time as well.
Yes.
So absolutely communicate that. It should be part of your plan, and you're exactly right. If we have a plan, we practice it. When things happen, we don't plan fire. So when they happen unexpectedly, that instinct kicks in.
So you reference a plan, and that's something that's your area of expertise, right? With the emergency management.
Yeah.
For residents, is there a recommended idea of what you would say? What should people look at including in their exit plan?
So there again, two ways out of every room. Hopefully that's the the minimum we like to have. We know that gets tough sometimes.
And that could be a door, it could be a window.
Absolutely. Other means,
Okay.
There again, spend a little time, think about that, and think the best ways to do that, and how it fits in your structure, your home, and there again, the type of people are there. Are they elderly, mobility issues? Are they young, children? Those kind of things. So. Kind of have to tailor the plan to the people that live in home. That's why we recommend every year that they reevaluate and go through that plan, make sure it's current with the current needs.
Yeah, and another thing, I remember you have been so diligent over time to make sure to tell people, no matter what, whether it's fire, whether it's tornado, springtime, you always tell everybody, make sure to have a designated rendezvous point where you're going to meet.
Absolutely.
So that everybody can do a head count and say, yep, we're all here safe.
Yep.
because the plan worked.
When we know the people are accounted for, we concentrate on saving property, which is our secondary
Yes.
thing. We make sure everybody's safe. And the checklist is a good way to go through a lot of what you explained.
Yes.
So we provided that. You can go to www.usfa.fema.gov. That's all there. There again, the local fire department. I just stressed it. They're your neighbors. They're the ones that are going to respond to your home. They'd be happy to help you with that.
You know, that's so important to involve them in that, especially if you are somebody who, you are in a special, unique need situation. If you can reach out to your local fire department and just say, hey, be familiar with me, and know also that if you've got pets in the house, that's something that you need to think about as well. There's so many things that you do need to think of in the event of a situation like a home fire. Candle safety. I think everybody, when the weather gets cool, we all want to light the candles. We think harvest time. You think, oh, let's get the pumpkin spice and the apple pie fragrances going in the home. But that is something that a lot of fires are caused due to candles.
Absolutely. And there again, at one of the times when we're most vulnerable during power outages, those kind of things, everybody wants to light a candle. I'd rather see you have a flashlight, because there again, that's a point in time when we're already vulnerable because of a power outage. So lighting those candles is risky. And so there again, caution, a little bit of common sense and thought about that goes a long way.
And I have a question for you then for all of the jack-o'-lanterns that are going to be carved at the end of this month and lit. Do you have a good recommendation for your holiday decorating that would involve an alternative to candles?
Sure. There again, battery-operated lights that go inside there, they illuminate the candle. You get the same effect as you would without the live fire. So
A lot safer.
yeah, absolutely, a lot safer.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
And you have a Facebook page. The Grant County EMA has a Facebook page,
Yes.
and you have this information that we're sharing today
Absolutely
available
is, yes.
for folks.
Yep, glad you brought that up. There again, you can go there. The information is there as well. Feel free to pull that down. Use that as best you can. Yep.
Yeah. Well, Bob, I thank you so much for taking the time to pop in here and join us on today's community update, keeping us safe. You are a very busy guy, and we really appreciate that you care enough to take the moment to come in and remind us how we can be prepared. And in the end, it'll help out all of our first responders as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. It's better for everybody if we don't have to come in and get you. And there again, we want to prevent fires in the first place.
Yes.
Nobody wins in that.
Nobody wins, that's for sure. It's always a loss.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
We appreciate you.
Take care.
All right. Well, isn't that a very helpful reminder to have that as we enter into the cooler months, that we want to be mindful of just those cautionary measures that we can take to keep our families, loved ones safe. Well, joining me next is another special guest. I am delighted to welcome him on to the update. He's a familiar face, and he wears a lot of hats and handles many roles in our community. It's Mr. Steve Wright. Now, Steve, I want to say a big welcome to you. And I know you've joined us as Grant County Commissioner, but today you've got the blue YMCA shirt on. You're serving as the interim director for the Grant County Family YMCA, and we're going to talk about that today.
Yeah, so kind of deja vu, right?
A little bit.
That's how this whole program started back in the day.
Yes.
If you remember correctly, back in COVID time.
Yes,
when
in 2020.
We absolutely got this program going and stuff, and I was interim director back then.
You were.
I'm like a bad penny. I just keep on showing up, right? I mean, it's like, holy smokes. But yeah, Charlie Myers, who was named the director after I stepped down as interim, he came in, served us well for 3.5 years, and Charlie ended up going to North Carolina, and I just touched base with him to make sure he was safe and sound with all the flooding and stuff that's been going on out there, and he is. So for those of you who know Charlie, he's doing well, and sends his best regards back towards Marion, and but the area that he's in did not get hurt as bad as I think
Thank
it was
goodness.
west of him, I think.
Yeah.
So that's good. But anyway, so when Charlie stepped down, the board came back and said, "Hey, Steve, could you help us out again until we find someone?" And I that's what I've done, and enjoy doing that. I gave him 4 months.
Yeah. Oh,
Until the
okay.
end of the year, and so they do have some interviews coming up. So hopefully we can find someone as good as Charlie was, and Kyle Stroman before that, and some good people has passed our way, and we want to thank them for doing what they've done for the Y and still making it as good as it is.
Yeah, and
Right.
speaking of making it good, I remember when you were interim director the first time through, and everything was shut down.
3 months.
Because it was, right, and it was nobody really knew. It was a very uncertain time. Nobody knew what the future
Right.
held at that moment.
Yeah.
But one of the things that you did, and I would venture to call it a little bit of your legacy there from your first term as director, was the staff worked so hard to clean and refresh the YMCA, and I remember getting a tour of that once it was a time for everything to reopen again.
Yep.
It was sparkling and it felt better than brand new.
Yeah.
And so you really invested in that facility, and I'm sure folks have been thoroughly enjoying it.
Yeah, well, and we're kind of doing the same thing again. I told the board when I came in that I'd like to kind of do a lot of preventive and predictive maintenance and things. So we're working on that as we speak. In fact, we're getting ready to do both locker rooms, to redo them all. The flooring, the paint, maybe taking out some lockers, and just really freshening up the building again. Since I left, they had started at 24/7. So we actually have a 24/7 door that people get a fob and you can get in anytime. Now, as crazy as it sounds, of course, we have a lot of cameras down there. So I check those cameras every now and then, just kind of see, oh, okay, who's coming in at 1, 2, 3, 4 in the morning? Sure enough, there's a ton of people working out at 1, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And it just
Really?
blows me
Wow.
away. The people that have done that. So if you're one of those people, maybe you're a second shifter and you get off at 11 o'clock or something like that, and you don't know where to go to work out, come on down. It's just the fitness area that you can go ahead and get into. I think there's a $35 charge for the fob a year. I think that's what it is, and it gets you into that area. But yeah, so it's exciting. We also had a call over the weekend and saying that Planet Fitness had a lot of water damage.
Oh,
come in.
dear.
And that was on Saturday. And so what we immediately did, we took to Facebook and invited everybody down for some day passes to give them a place to go ahead and work out while they're there. It does sound like that might be out for a while. And so what we've done, we've come up with a special rate that anybody that is a Planet Fitness member can come down there. And for $25, after 5 visits, free visits, it's $25 a month for 3 months.
Oh,
And so,
that's
and you get the full
reasonable.
use of the Y.
Full
And so,
use,
yep.
not
So
just
the
the
pool,
fitness.
the fitness, everything. All our classes are available to you. So come on down if you need that. We also put out there, because that was when we had this storm that came
Right.
through with all the water and things like
and all
that.
the tree limbs down and
Yep,
everything.
and so a lot of people without power. So we said, if you're without power and you're out in the county and your pump isn't working, come on down to the Y. You can take a shower. To me, that's what Ys are for.
Right.
Stepping up when community is in need. And oh, by the way, you can charge your cell phone down there too. So we put that out on Facebook and stuff. We had, I think we had the very first day, I think we had, it was close to 17 people that came in. And then the very next day, we had over 25. And so it's exciting to just really help out in a time of need for people when
Yes.
they want to come in and work out and things like that. We're
Yes.
giving them that availability to do that.
Yeah, you know,
So-
there's something about that routine of just being able to get up
Yep.
and go, and it is also, you know, moving and exercise. It actually helps with mental health, right?
Yeah, I need to do that,
Oh.
Angela.
Well, you mentioned that there was a lot of folks that were actually taking advantage of that overnight, that 24/7
Oh, yeah.
pass that's
Yeah.
available.
Yeah.
Where they were coming in after midnight and,
Right.
and working out. If you can't sleep at night, if you've got all those gears turning and I've just got to go get expel some of this energy, right?
People can get in.
Well, there's a great place to
Yeah.
go, and it's safe, because one of the other things that you referenced was you've got to have the fob to be able to get in.
Correct.
And you've got all of those security
Correct.
cameras
And
there.
we just put up a new security light on the outside, so it's bright as you go in and things like that. We just got that
lighting
done
is
last
very
week.
good.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
so anybody that would want to come at a latter time,
Yep.
they can feel
Safe to come in.
To come in.
Yep.
That's a good peace of mind.
Yep.
Now, and again, I think it's good to reference, you'd said that it's fitness center only, not the pool.
That
There's
is
a
correct.
safety element
That's correct.
with
So
the
there's a
pool.
gated area that we can do in that hall that leads up to the pool area and things like
Yeah.
that. So that's gated off at night.
Yeah.
And so the last employee going out, he locks it up and
Yeah.
stuff, and you can come right on in. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's very safe. Like I say, plenty of cameras. And the Y is just something that I think is just great for our community, and glad that we have it, and happy to support it. And those people, there's a lot of people out there that heavily support the Y. So again, come on down, check us out. If you, like I say, if you're one of those displaced members at Planet Fitness or something like that, come on down and try us out. It'd be a great time for you to take a look at the Y again and say, hey, I kind of like this,
It's,
right?
it's a wonderful resource, and
Yeah.
I understand that you have a lot of great after-school programs.
We do. There's a child care that we have. We also have Child Watch. If you want to come down and work out and stuff, there's limited hours on that, but you can actually bring your kids down.
Really?
And we've got a play area for them, and with a staff member, and to watch your kids while you work out.
So there's no excuse for us to avoid our goals now,
No.
right?
No. Don't use the kids as an excuse.
Yeah, I love it. So there's the after-school programs for the kids to get involved
Yep.
with, and then something for mom and dad to get involved with, and that's part of the reason that it's called the Grant County Family YMCA.
Right.
And-
And so this afternoon, I know we've got the Little Giants coming in, doing a thing down at the Y.
You do.
And then on Friday, the Veterans Stand Down. We close the gym down for the Veterans Stand Down. And if you're a veteran, let me invite you to that. It's put on in just a lot of different booths to help out veterans, as well as I think there's a free lunch involved with that. So you can come on down to the Y. And again, to me, it's the community center.
It is.
It's and as I go in the mornings and stuff, people will be sitting around the tables. A lot of people, the same people every day and stuff like. It's a family. And so again, Grant County Family YMCA, come on down and join the family. It's just a great
It's so
time.
true. So you, I just have to ask now, this is your second
Yep.
time around.
Yep.
And you've got some great ideas and you're running with them. What drew you to serve for a second term?
There's the board member gave me a call and things, but I had also had a call from a gentleman before that, and just asking if I would do it again, and I said, I'm your last resort.
Oh, no,
If you can't find that would step up to the plate, I'm kind of your last resort. So anyway, there's people who have a lot of money that help out with the Y. I don't have a lot of money, but I do have some time. And so I just feel it's part of the community commitment that I want to do. And again, it means a lot to the community. I did, last time I gave them 3 to 6 months, and I was there for a year.
You were,
I did,
yes.
I did tell them that I would do it till the end of the year if they needed me that long.
Mm-hmm.
And a part-time, because I'm still finishing up the commissioner role.
Yes.
As well as my wife at home. I want to make sure I'm taking good care of her. And there's some other things that I'm doing that just kind of takes time. So,
Yeah.
but I'm having fun with it, and got a great staff down there that really knows what they're doing. I had that before, got it again. So yeah, it's just a lot of fun.
You mentioned your commissioner role. You're wrapping things
I
up.
am, yes.
And I'm sure there's a countdown here.
There is.
Is that transition?
Only 6 more
of-
meetings, Angela.
6
Not that I'm counting or anything. It's like
Just
6 more
that's
meetings.
it. Do you have any final goals that you'd like to share with folks as the year wraps up and things transition?
Working with Bob Jackson on some things. There's a mitigation thing that we're doing for an overall, taking a look at what happened south and this hurricane that come up through
Yeah.
us. that could have hit us.
It could
I
have.
mean, it really could have.
The flooding could have
all
been
the
real.
Tornadoes and I tell you, I don't think people understand the brevity of what's going on in our nation right now with destruction from this storm. I mean, when I'm seeing highways that aren't there anymore because it even buckled up the highways, and I mean, this is years
Yeah.
of work ahead
Yeah.
of them down there, and
Yeah.
we're just well, what's that look like if it hits Marion or Gas City or small community?
Yes.
What's that look like?
Yes.
And so Bob is very actively involved. They do this every 5 years of taking a look at their plan and making sure we've got the plan to go ahead and do that. Such a great guy. We're very fortunate and blessed to have him.
I have had the privilege.
As an executive director for the EMA.
I've had the privilege of being able to see some of the work that you and Bob and the teams put together, and think of everything.
Yeah.
Try to think of everything in the smallest details, and we don't realize all the foresight
back-end
and
stuff,
the
right?
back end stuff
Yeah.
that's happening
Yeah.
to keep us safe and in a good
Yep.
situation in our community. And so a great big thank you and appreciation
Yeah.
to you, to Bob, to all the team members that it takes.
Cybersecurity.
Cybersecurity
that's
is a
something that
real
we're working
thing.
on with the school system and thing. I mean, there's a whole group that comes together and we talk about cyber and what can we learn from each other. I mean, I think it was Taylor that got hacked not too long ago and stuff. So we all learn from that, and that's the collaboration that's going on.
It's
and
just
I
gonna
do want to
continue.
talk about one more thing.
Sure,
I
we've
just
got a
had
couple
text.
minutes.
I just had a text while Bob was on.
Oh, yes.
From Eric Marshall. Eric Marshall, great guy, and city councilman now and stuff. Congratulations to him for that position. But Eric and his sister is working on something that I think is really unique to our community. And I just got this thing to read just real quick. And this was in the Indianapolis Recorder. Buffalo soldier to be re-entered, finally receiving military honors. And what they've done, they went back and taken a look at this guy. His name was Private Gerald Dixon, will finally be laid to rest with proper military honors. Private Dixon was one of 110 soldiers belonging to the 24th Infantry of Buffalo soldiers who were wrongfully convicted and sentenced to life in prison at Leavenworth for their alleged involvement in the 1917 Camp Logan riot. On August 23, 1917, rising racial tensions erupted into violence at a training camp the Buffalo soldiers of the 24th Infantry Regiment had been sent to guard, according to a press release. This led to the deaths of 19 people, and the subsequent court-martial found 110 black soldiers guilty, with 19 hung. Although his sentence was later commuted by J. Edgar Hoover, Dixon did not receive justice during his lifetime and was buried in a private cemetery without a headstone. Now Dixon will receive recognition and be re-entered at the Marion National Cemetery with full military honors.
Wow.
And Eric and his sister have had the biggest part in this to make this thing happen. So there is a graveside committal service at 2 p.m. on October 28th at Marion National Cemetery, where Dixon will be buried alongside his wife, Frances. The ceremony, which takes place just days before Veterans Day, aims to remember the injustices of African American soldiers faced during World War I. So prior to the graveside service, the community is invited to honor the life and legacy of Dixon during an event on October 26 entitled Buffalo Soldiers of the 24th Camp Logan Riots and Marion's own Private Gerald Dixon, hosted at the Walton Performing Arts Center at Marion High School. And the event will feature guest speakers and a documentary screening about the history of the Buffalo Soldiers and Camp Logan riot. So just wanted to share that with everybody.
Wow.
I think that's a real
Thank
honored
you.
type thing
It
that we
is.
can actually, as a community,
Yes.
come together for him.
And the screening at the Walton Performing
yeah.
Arts Center, I hope that is well
Yeah.
attended.
So just wanted to kind of get that
Thank
word out
you.
there.
That's
That
important.
and like I say, Eric and his sister, we had them both at the commissioners meeting, at our last commissioners meeting, and talking about this event and things. So if you can make that, that's a wonderful thing. Be watching. There'll be a lot of communications going on that. But
There
I just think
will.
it's great.
It is. Thank you, Steve.
Yeah.
Well, we've got to wrap up. We're
Yep.
out of time. Thank you for joining us here. We really appreciate you sharing with us what's happening in the community as well as at the YMCA. And we want to remind everybody that we are going to be having a TV fundraising dinner to be able to raise funds to purchase new high-definition studio production cameras. Details are going to be on a commercial following this here in just a moment. It's not really a commercial because we are a nonprofit, so it's just information about the station and what's going to be coming up here right around the corner. Thanks so much for joining us today. Stay tuned for some more quality family programming that you can trust right here on Sunnycrest Outreach Television. God bless. Sunnycrest Outreach Television has been a part of the fabric of Grant County for over 40 years. Highlighting local times and events for generations, our mission to bring quality family programming you can trust remains the same. Programming that's innovative, informative, and inspiring. Programming that shines the light of hope that's anchored in the gospel message of Jesus Christ. To do this, we need your help. As a nonprofit ministry, WSOT is solely supported through gifts and donations. Our TV production cameras are 20 years old and need replaced. We're hosting a TV dinner fundraiser on Saturday, October 12th at 6 p.m. at Sunnycrest Baptist Church. Tickets are $15 per person and can be purchased online at sunnycrestchurch.org. Proceeds from the TV dinner will be used to acquire new HD studio cameras. If you're unable to attend but would still like to give, visit us online at sunnycrestchurch.org, click the donate button, and choose WSOT. We hope to see you at our TV dinner.